Good. How are you?
I am great. Where are you? This beautiful wall of yarn.
Thank you. I'm in my office,
Oh my
my
gosh.
yarn wall.
It
This
is,
is my Facebook Live setup.
it's so
So,
nice. I'm gonna have to join your
thank
Facebook
you.
Live group. I don't think I've joined yet.
We do a Facebook Live, me and a friend, every Wednesday. Every
Oh,
Wednesday at noon, we
oh,
go live for an hour and just be really stupid.
that's the
But
best.
we have fun.
Oh my
Mm,
gosh.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's fun. It's good times. So it's good to see your face in person.
it's so good to see you too. And I've been getting these emails
Thank
from you, like, get ready to stock your mailbox. I can't wait for my yarn to
you.
arrive. Even though
Yay.
not really mine. I'm just like a shepherdess and then like moving it on to its rightful owners. But still, I get to touch it.
Right. Yes. You get to open it and squish it and like make yarn beards and all. I've got two kids, but my daughter is grown. She's just got engaged and she lives on her own. She's a teacher. She's going to be 26.
Oh,
So she's like old. And then my son is like your son's. I know. She's going to be the age I was when I had my second kid. I'm like, oh my God. She's like a grown up. But my son's 16. So
yeah, just like
he's still here. And
mine.
I get my husband. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So married, kids, job, dogs,
oh.
yarn.
Do you
It's
ever sleep?
crazy. Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I relax more than you would think because, like I said, I have Brienne and she does everything. She answers all my emails. She does like my products on the website. She does all our blog posts. She does like, I don't know, you name it, she does it. She like moderates my test knits when I release patterns. She like uploads, like she does everything. She sends them to my tech editor for me. Like she makes the corrections when it comes back. So like
That's
having
cool.
somebody to just like do all the things is amazing.
That is brilliant. Is she a knitter as well?
Yeah, she is. Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, it's awesome.
and I'm
That's the
loving
only
this.
way I can do it.
I'm loving this mug. Is there like a flower on it or what?
Yes, it has a calla lily.
Oh, it's
Isn't it pretty?
gorgeous.
It's
Oh,
I've stalked this potter on Instagram for over a year before I finally caught one of her shop updates because they sell out like in 5 seconds.
my gosh. Who is
So
it?
I was like, I will pay any number. I will pay anything you want. Just get me the
Yes.
mug. It's Kristen Robran Ceramics is her IG name.
Okay.
And she does like all this like green pottery
Loving it.
with like calla lilies. She does all kinds of stuff too. It's beautiful, beautiful.
So nice.
So
So nice.
my fancy mug.
So how did you learn to knit? How did you get involved in dyeing? I have so many questions. Tell me your origin
Oh,
story.
okay, no problem. So, okay. I have always been kind of like a serial entrepreneur. I didn't really know that that's what was happening, but I knew I wanted to do something for myself. And it always wasn't, I want to have this huge business, but I just wanted to have my own thing, right? And so I'm a big believer in you end up where you need to be. It
Mm,
may not, you may not know where you're going and you may think like, why is this happening to me or why is this taking so long? But I feel like you end up where you're supposed to be. And for me, I had done a bunch of different things before knitting was ever in my life, right? So I was at another craft fair selling something unrelated and I bought this hand knit pair of fingerless mitts from this vendor that was like next to us. And I was like dying over these mitts, dying. So I'm like, I have to learn how to make these things. Like, I have to do it. So I knew how to crochet a little bit. So I started crocheting them, and that was great. And like, I had made myself a bunch of pair, and then people wanted them. So I was like selling these little mitts to like friends and family and stuff. And then somewhere along the line, I kind of felt like a lot of the crochet patterns I was finding were faux knitting. It was like, oh, faux ribbing, faux this, faux cables. And I'm like, well, why don't I just do the actual thing. So I was like, I'm going to learn how to knit. That took a while. I'm not a fast learner. It did not come quick to me. Like a lot of things didn't click in my brain. Like I didn't understand why there were double pointed needles, why there were like what were all these things and what did you use them for? And why did some needles have stoppers on the end and others didn't? And
yeah,
I bought a pair of double points and I took those little makeup sponges and stuck them on the end so I could knit with them. Cause I'm like, what is this? I just make do with what I have. I'm like, well, I bought these things. You bet I'm going to use them. And then like from there, I started finding out that there were things called yarn shops, never heard of them, and podcasts on YouTube. And I was like, down the rabbit hole, straight down. And then when I found out, like through podcasts, that you could dye your own yarn, that I was like, oh, well, yep, that's for me. If a person can do that, then I want to do it. And so I did. And then that was it. So I bought a pair of fingerless mitts. And somehow that turned into a yarn business.
Do you still have them?
I do, I think. I believe I have them in my closet somewhere. And the funny thing is, like, they're not, like, they're, like, super woolly, like, toothy. Like, they're not really even that comfortable. They're kind of bulky. I mean, I think they only paid, like, $5 for them. They weren't, like, but I absolutely love them. And I just feel like, I don't know, somehow that was, like, I was just meant to find these things, like, and I feel like all the other non-successful businesses and they weren't really businesses, but I sold on Etsy and didn't really do very well prior to this, but all those things taught me how to sell online, I didn't know that I was going to need that down the road. But when I started the yarn business, I was like, oh, I already know how to do this. I already, I've done this before. I've seen this before. So it just felt like a very natural thing to like move into it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And that was a long answer. I'm so sorry. I hope that was okay.
That was a brilliant answer. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks.
And how many years ago did you start Hypnotic Yarn? And how did you come up with the name? I love that name. And I love the sheet with the eyes. It's so good.
I don't so silly. Okay.
No, it's so great.
I started, I love my little sheep, and it's funny. He's like the one thing that like I did on my own and have not changed since I started. I didn't upgrade him. He hasn't been, renovated or whatever. So I started in January of 2017.
Oh, wow.
And I started on Etsy with my mother-in-law, who at the time was doing some sewing and she was making some bags. So we kind of did this like little joint venture, and that was fun. But I found that I did quickly start to grow, and things they kind of took off. I don't want to say quicker than I expected, because it wasn't like that crazy, but it was busier than anything I had done in the past. And I was like, oh, this is a real thing, And so Etsy just didn't have a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do for my business. So I ended up moving over to my own website last January-ish.
Okay.
I launched it January 2018. So,
wow.
So it's been just over 2 years.
Do you use WordPress?
I don't know. What's that? Oh, WordPress?
What website?
No, I use Shopify.
Shopify. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Shopify girl. They fill all my needs so far. I mean,
yeah, it's a beautiful site.
Yeah, thank you. I think that eventually I might grow out of that and need to have something developed. But for now, I love it. And I don't know, the coming up with a name for a business, isn't that like the hardest thing to do?
Well, I took kind of like the cheater's way out, because I just said Kari's Kits. And in the past, I had a coffee shop that I called Kari's Cafe. And my son was about 6 at the time. And he said, did you stay up all night thinking of that one, Mom?
Oh, no.
He's kind of sassy. But yeah, it's true. And I joke with my friends that I can only have a business where it's like that alliteration, you know? So we've got
Yes.
this cafe and we've got Kari's Kits. Who knows what's going to come next? I don't know.
I love that. Well, you have a great name though. Like your name, like just your first and last name, it reminds me of like Pulp Fiction, like Vincent Vega, Carrie Capone. It's like very like, I don't know.
I'll take it. Although I'm a lot less cool than my name implies. So,
Well, it sounds like very classy and very like, I don't know, very hip.
well,
Is that
we know
even
the
a word
truth.
that people use?
But yeah, hypnotic yarn with your OG sheep. And I love that you designed him yourself. Does he have a name?
Yes. Yes, he does. And I can't remember what it is. What is his name? It starts with an H.
Oh.
I can't remember what his name is. My Bria, my VA, who's amazing, she helps me name him. And it's going to kill me that I can't remember what we ended up calling him. It was a while ago.
I love it.
I just call him the sheep.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to find a name. And that, I don't know, I think it came from like just searching for, you know, you come up with an idea and it's taken. You come up with another idea and it's taken. And, you know, there's a yarn shop with that. There's something else. And I think I ended up going to like thesaurus.com and just putting in words that I like and coming up with other, you know, better, cooler words.
That's a super good idea.
Yeah. I just went to like Google and said, give me the words, you know, until I found something I liked. Yeah.
I want to know what your biggest challenge is in your business. And I also want to know if you have any nightmare customer stories. And I also want to know if you have any like really heartwarming customer stories. And this is not a chance to like rain on your customers or anything like that, but just for other business owners who I think sometimes it's just fun to hear like, we're not alone.
Oh my goodness. Yes. No, I think a lot of us experience the same sorts of things. And talking to business friends, I know, you know, we all, you just say like keywords and they're like, oh, yep, been there, done that. So yeah, I definitely have both of those types of stories. Excuse me. So, I feel like nightmare customers, I feel like I've been lucky for the most part. I did have one instance where somebody just went like really over the top with something that was completely just not an issue. There was nothing bad happening in her world or my world, but she just was very upset and needed to have everybody in the world know about it. So if you actually go to my Facebook page, it's still up there. She left a review and it's like horrible. And you will see like, and you can see, you know, I mean, I'm like, hey, I'm an open book. I leave that stuff up there because I feel good about what I do. So,
yes,
you know, that sort of thing doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, I mean, you have people that, I don't know, they're just not going to be happy no matter what. And I come from a sales background, so that's what I do, and that's what I've done for many, many years. So I am quite used to people being unhappy when there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I didn't cause it, and I certainly can't fix it because, you know, there's only so much one person can do, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me too much. Usually what happens is if somebody's just like randomly unhappy for any reason, I just say, okay, like, you know, that's fine. That's fine. Like you know, there's plenty of other people out there. There's plenty of other dyers. Like maybe, you know, we're just not a good fit for each other. That's totally fine. You know, no hard feelings. Go on your way, you know, and make beautiful things. That's fine. I just don't engage with the negative. Yes. And I also don't try to make those people stay with me. They're not my people.
Yes, I love that. That is such a beautiful way to address it. And I really feel that we attract the customers that we deserve. I felt that way when I had my cafe. I felt that way as I've kind of moved through my business is, you find your people. And I love the idea of saying to someone who's unhappy, I wish you all the best. There are other people for you. And you know, and it's not a scarcity mentality. There are plenty of customers for everybody. And it makes perfect sense that you have a sales background, because that is just such a great way of looking at things. You're obviously speaking from a place of a lot of experience.
Yes. Yep. I mean, you just need to move on. And the thing is, like, for me personally, I think it's a little bit different than what a lot of other dyers do, or I mean, I know some in other industries, businesses do it, and I really appreciate it as a customer. So it's something I wanted to implement for my customers, is that I have a 100% no questions asked return policy. You don't like something, I will pay the return shipping to send it back. Like, you are out zero. If you don't like it, I mean, it happens. You get something and you see it in person and decide, for whatever reason, this is not for me. Like, I'm not going to hold that against anybody. I mean, there's a window of time. It's not indefinite. You can't have it, forever. But if you get it, you look at it, you don't want it, I will take it back. And I am not upset about it. It's fine. I will take it back. So there's really no reason, I feel, for anybody to ever be upset with me. So if they are, I kind of feel like it's not my problem, because I will take it back if you don't like it. So, I mean, what more can you do, really,
That's so great. And when we're shopping online for yarn and you don't get a chance to squish it and feel it, having a policy like that is just super good business sense. I think of Zappos, not to compare you to a shoe store, but, you take the risk out of it and you make people feel comfortable that, like, yes, this is a company that I can do business with. You're taking the long view. You're not just saying, no, I need to hold on to this one sale. No, you say, I'm developing a relationship with my customer that can last for years and years.
Right. Wow. Yes, and it's so true. And I will say that I've only had 2 people ever take me up on it, and both of them were incredibly gracious. It was not, oh, I hate this. It was, you know what? After seeing it, it just isn't for me. It's beautiful yarn. I love it. But I'm more, I'm definitely going to buy something else. And they've been long-term customers, and I don't get personally like, oh, you don't like this one thing that I made. I mean, I don't like everything, from my favorite people. It's fine. It's totally fine. You can't you can't take everything personally,
No.
So
I love that comparison. Like, if you look at Chanel or Tiffany and they've released a new product collection, not everything is going to be for you, even if that's your favorite brand. That's a really good comparison.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of how I roll with my customers. Like, I want them just to be happy with everything they have. And if they're not, like, I don't want them stuck with something that they don't like. So then on the flip side of that, I have some really amazing customers. They are great, wonderful people. I don't have one specific, like, this one thing happened to me, but I get emails from my customers all the time. I make sure that every time they get something, they get a personal thank you. Every time they order, they get an email that expresses my gratitude, right? And because I absolutely mean it. When we do our Facebook Lives every week, I'm always telling them how much I love them, because I do. I would be nowhere if it weren't for them, right? So, on the flip side of saying, I certainly let customers walk on if we're not a good fit, I love the people who stay. Like, I want to love on them so much. And they love on me back. They send me the sweetest messages, the kindest words, just the reviews they leave on my Facebook page. All of those things are like, that's what fuels your soul, right?
Yes.
I mean, that and coffee, of course.
Exactly. The lifeblood of champions.
Yeah, you're right. Coffee and wine and yarn. And custard.
Oh, so good. So, tell me what's next on your agenda. I know you have May coming up, so we've got the May Birthday Club, and what else is happening?
Yes. I have some really good stuff coming up. Oh my goodness. This year, I'm so excited about this whole year. I have stuff right now planned every single month through August. So we just released the Advent calendar, although as of today when we're recording, it's only available to newsletter subscribers. It may not even go public because sometimes they
sell out.
Snatch it all up. Yep. So that's happening right now. And then May, we are doing a sock kit that will be coming out, which is going to be adorable. And then let's see, what do we have? We have, the new club, the new mystery club. We're relaunching the mystery club.
Good.
It is closed right now to new members, but we're going to be opening it back up, and it's going to be more of a subscription box. So you will get some really fancy treats. I've partnered up with some really cool brands like David's Tea and Eucalyptus and some really cool companies. And so everything is going to be super fancy, and I'm like crazy excited about re-releasing this. I've got Christmas in July coming up, and I have something amazing that will be released, but I can't say what it is just yet.
How can people get on your email list so that they can find out about all of these goodies?
Yes, absolutely. So they can either go to the website, which is just hypnoticyarn.com. Right on the front page, there's a sign up. Okay. You can also, there's a tab for the Mystery Club. If they want information just about that, they can sign up specifically for that through the website, but you just have to look for the Mystery Club tab on the page. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, they all link right to the newsletter.
Awesome.
So,
well, Cheryl, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time.